And welcome back, my friends. It's a show that never ends. Thanks to the, studio magic of the 21st century. I'm live, but I'm not live. By the time you see this, I'll be on the road, heading out of state. Almost didn't do the show. Corked Stats, fastest freaking show in MLB. Absolutely. It's your boy. Big Johnny Stud. Follow me up on Twitter at John Legaza Flow. Sharper than a razor. Tomorrow is a big family annual for yours truly. I gotta be up and at 'em really fucking early. There was no way I was gonna get to the stream. Just getting all the data and everything up. Gonna be enough of a pain in the ass. So I figured let me just try and do the very best I can. I couldn't not do the stream. I told you 6 days a week. I'm gonna fucking deliver 6 days a week. That's how we do. Me and you, the Cork Stats crew. All right, just enough of that shit. Sign up right now. We're in the middle of getting our dicks knocked in. Pirates just blew a 2-run lead in the fucking 8th inning. What the fuck else is new? What else is new? What else is new? Every single game we're up multiple runs heading into the 8th, and it ends one way. Fucking crazy shit, man. All right, enough of that shit. More of this. All right, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we need a little more of that, actually. Forgot to do my little think tank. Hold on 1 second. We'll come right up. With the best part of waking up. There it is. The algo sheet in the mug. I was trying to run my show pick thing over to the side. There we go. All right, everybody. Going to do just an abridged one today. We do have 15 games tomorrow. Today was such a pain in the ass. I do the very best I can as pitchers are getting traded and scratched. I go and re-rack all the data, re-rack the models. I literally drop what I'm doing. Did like 4 different times today. So if anything changes on this board, we're kind of out. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. You can always hit me up with questions, but I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to have no bandwidth for this stuff, though. Funny, right? Because we always talk about the Source crew and them getting up early. I'm going to have some picks out. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. I'll record the show. I think I'm going to still release it tomorrow. But I'll print that there's going to be the algo is up with some show picks in case people want to see, because I think there are plays that we're going to like that are not going to be around tomorrow, right? That's been the running theme. While I pray that the Pirates score against Pagan, they go 2 up, 2 down immediately. That game is fucking over. Also hoping for the Orioles. Man, they got too early, but then that was it. What's his face? Fucking Painter held tough. Go figure. It's just things have been really rough on the ML side, end of game especially. So let's do this thingy thing. Quinn Matthews, prospect for the Cardinals, making his debut tomorrow. Former 4th-round pick. A little bit of shine. He does get a lot of love in prospect circles, but man, the whip is a little high because the walk rate is a little crazy. So I worry about that. Obviously, I think this total is a little bit high at 8.5. Let's see. You think Matthews is good? Gausman should shove the Cardinals, and the Blue Jays don't fucking hit themselves. So what I have with me is I'm using BetStamp right now. They rock live lines all the time. So I'm gonna get, we're gonna get real lines up. It's the ones we can actually fucking play. And it's 8.5 minus 110, and I think that's basically the move to go under the 8.5. I think this one closes at 8. Remember, these lines are so freaking soft that we're going to be ahead of half runs and stuff. Now, by the time you hear this may have happened, but hopefully you saw the email last night, which is this night, which is in a little back to the future action. 1.21 gigawatts. I mean, again, Gausman is awesome. I think there's even an argument to bet the Blue Jays for the outright win at only minus. Let me see. Is it actually minus 130? Yeah, it is minus 130. So that's a double banger right there. I like to put up all the viable stuff. And if I wasn't such a pussy, I would play more volume. I probably have a little bit of the bad luck washed out, but I always think you could be a little cute, and it never seems to fucking work. So let's go on to that first one. Next up. I know it's an abridged show. We could use a little bit of sound effects. Kind of pre-lip on the bump for the Twinks. They're plus 147 dogs on the road in the PN Dub to face Logan Gilbert and the Mariners. Yeah, Mahado likes the Mariners for the win, as do I. I think Prelip is pretty good. He's not as good as Gilbert. Both of these offense kind of give me the ick. I'm probably under this bitch also, to be honest. I do think the Mariners win, and maybe you could pair them with another money line favorite if we get one. Tonight we have the money line Seattle run line about to go in a little bit. I don't necessarily have the confidence that I do in this one. I was trying not to do too many stats, but you know me, I got to do a little bit because I kind of like Prelip. He's been god awful on the road. If we care about that stuff, he's been damn good last 30 days. I tend to think he's really good. I would be siding with the under here. That one's at an 8, and it's probably going to move. DraftKings still has a minus 118, and again, bet your bottom dollar. This one closes 7.5. So it'll be interesting to see as you people are hearing this on Saturday morning how accurate the predictions are for the line movements. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I do these source shows and leave up those picks, and you can't believe we're just ahead of freaking, everything. Next up, Noah Schultz on the bump for the Pale Hose. They're pretty heavy 150 dogs on the road against Drew Rasmussen and the Flat Fucking Fish of Florida. You know what? This might be making a little obvious pairing also to go Seattle plus Tampa on the blend. That really could work too because that Seattle run line is plus 130. Tampa run line plus 135. So those check out for a blend bet. I think that's what I'm going to put to remind me. I'm going to put a Tampa Seattle blend or Tampa Seattle. Oh, what am I doing, yo? Whatever, you bitch. I'll just type it in Tampa and Seattle blend, meaning pairing the two money lines to get plus money, and then playing each of the run lines. Maybe I'd rather do that. Oh, yeah, I guess that works because we had the Seattle under and not the run line. Yeah, so that works. A lot of stuff that I like. Again, when you get first crack at the numbers, all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's a lot more. It's a lot more attractive. Oh, looks like Orioles tied that game up for us, which is lovely, lovely news. The Pirates, of course, lost. You fucking scumbag bastards, yo. After that comeback, we're up too early and then up two again late. Or up 2 in the first, 2 in the 8th, and still lost the fucking game to one of the worst bullpens in the league, man. What a bitch. Yo. Ain't that about a bitch? So, yeah, Drew Rasmussen should shove. I mean, Schultz, it's funny. You think, you kind of hear the name and you're thinking, oh, man, this guy's supposed to be really freaking good. We just haven't seen it at all. And, I have no problem going up against the spreadsheet, ERA and whip. Don't give a crap. But it's everything else is just terrible. Command control, there's no swing and miss. And I thought that's what we were getting. Now, again, he's only 22 and his career is far from determined. For late round, former first rounder. Again, it's just so off track record. He's never had a swinging strike rate at any stop below like 11.5, and that was a small set in the minors. It's generally up in the 12s. The K rate is up in the mid 20s. Some places it's spiked. So I think this will correct. Will it correct tomorrow? I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. Rasmussen in the middle of a downright filthy campaign, man. When this guy's healthy, he's incredible. These offenses really kind of feel like a wash to me. I'm always willing to give Tampa a little bit of a nod at home. You can see the lefty splits are not great, but the White Sox stuff is not great either. We were on them today. Should have bet them to score. Again, I pick all the wrong spots. I do all the stuff around a lot of regular people do. Then you beat yourself up for it. You have 8 plays. You say that's too many, so you pick 4 and leave 4. The 4 you pick will lose. The 4 you left will win. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen? Or what? Exactly. So I think this one's as simple as that. Now might not be the time to go for Schultz. Again, I love those I love the blend bets when the run lines are plus 130. It gives you a really nice chance to kind of circumvent paying juice on single outcomes. Next up, Tyler Phillips on the bump for the mighty Marlins of Miami. They're plus 118 dogs down in Queens to be Zach Thornton. And the Let's Go Mets go. Marlins up 5-1 in this one today. But Thornton, definitely a strong suit. Phillips, not so much. Mets minus 125 feels a little bit light. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit of how the sausage is made. My first pull, again, comes from BetStamp. They have like a best price thing. And if anybody's done any of this line shopping stuff, you'll know. A lot of times the best available listed is not one any of us can fucking get. But for my purposes, it works just fine. And then in the morning, I try and use a rec book because they have the worst prices. Right, so I try and put up what would be considered a public price. So I don't have the public price. I have to look for that right now. The minus 124 is more like, no, minus 126 is like a live FanDuel bet. And I think that's the play. Phillips has really struggled. He's trying to make that transition over. Thornton's been really good in a small cup of coffee, seemingly getting better every time. Really great command and control. He's looked really good so far. And he's got some shine. Mets have done pretty well with the young pitchers. And he's been beasting at home. Offense is calling a wash. I think the Mets have the bullpen. So that minus 126 feels a little bit light. I think that's where I want to go. Again, expect this one. I'm not saying it's going to close minus 150. But I bet you this closes minus 138 or minus 140, which is when you're like, no. So again, the early bird makes all the difference. Again, I hate to be like, look at the prices I'm getting, but like I said, I'll put out an email that the algo is out, or at least the V1, and I come back in the morning, I'll do a little fine tuning. Maybe I'll just put out the show picks. Yeah, maybe I'll just list the picks. That way I won't mislead anybody with the board. I hate it. You see all the stuff, it's hard not to act on it. We're going to have wind and bullpen reports that are going to change some of these numbers. Again, I just never want to mislead. Next up, my boy, this one's crazy too. My boy Braxton Ashcraft going for the Pirates. He's minus 114. Now, that's a Fugazi line. Real line looks more like no, FanDuel has minus 114. That's legit. I'm smashing that fucking thing. Braxton Ashcraft, significantly better pitcher than Abbott. Offenses are probably a wash. I thought Pittsburgh had the better pen. They shit the bed today, of course. I don't know why he went to fucking Dotel. He's such ass. He is such hot ass. But again, these are all independent events. And I think Ashcraft is the, significantly better pitcher than Abbott, who's really lined up for some negative regression. You can see just screaming. All the indicators of more than a run north of the ERA. The underpinning shit is all gross. He's pitching in a fucking bandbox. Pittsburgh's not really been like a, it's been no picnic. The stuff for us lefties is meh. It's meh. Because a lot of their good hitters are left-handed. But I think we can get enough done. Because again, Ashcraft really is like the carrying tool. And the Reds righty stuff recently is not any good. I could see it highlighted. There's a couple barrels, but that's about it. They've converted their barrels to home runs, which is really good. But the rest of it is gross. If you're going to be swinging, missing against Ashcraft, I think he's going to pick on you. Give me the Pirates in a bounce back spot. Next up, Christopher Dirty Sanchez. Why the fuck? He's only minus 130 against Shane Baz. This is nuts. We got to start betting the night before. What the fuck, bro? Real line minus 130. FanDuel doing really good with these look ahead lines. So far, it's been all FanDuel, like running away with the very best pricing. Now I'm sweating the Guardians. We'll see if Sobrowski blows this game in the eighth. Guards have been holding on for dear life to a run lead that I'm firmly expecting to lose. That's just when it goes like this, you just, I know I don't make it happen. So it's like, what difference? What are you mad for? I can't control it. Good, you can be as happy as you want. You're not going to change the fucking outcome. But you could just feel the fucking shit piling up. Right now, Diamondbacks have first and second, one out. They're down one. It's top 8. Big double play here could save the day. And a base hit would just be more of the same disappointment. Orioles come through for the good guys. They take a late lead in the 7th. We'll see if we can hold it. Back to the matter at hand. Sanchez at minus 130 feels a little bit light against Shane Baz. Maybe Baz has been better last 30. Let's check it out. He's been okay last 30. I kind of like Shane Baz, but he's always offering too many free passes, no out pitch to lefties, poor ability to get the cold stuff over, and elevated contact rate. I don't get this one at all. I don't get it at all. Jumping on this bitch. Man, I'm going to have like a full FanDuel ticket by the time this is done. I'd have to admit, this is new. This is new for me, but these lines are live. Damn, I may even just get tomorrow's bet ticket out now. And it's funny, it feels like cheating. Feels like cheating. But it's not cheating. You're just kind of early. The early bird gets the worm. Oh, Cleveland loads the bases. 1 out. Zabrowski on the ropes against Perdomo. And that's the other one, too. And finally, we feel like we get one. We'll cough one up. And it's like, what the fuck, man? I can't believe it. Yeah, I don't know. I think this minus 130 for Sanchez probably closes like minus 141, minus 145. Feels a little bit light for me. No, let's keep it going. Whoa, somebody out there looking cool on the bike. Let's keep the theme going. More like prices that it's the prices that make you go. People are fed up with DeGrom. His last 30's been gross. His last 30's been, a little bit, man. 3.5 Sierra, 20 KBB. I would normally take that all day. Blanco was fresh off injury and hasn't figured it out yet. He has an 8 ERA coming into this one. He had the K pitch working, but he walked a ton of guys and had the zone contact north of 90. Again, 10 innings. It's a little bit short to make determinations. Guardians blow the game. In fucking real time. My misery. Just, oh my gosh. Can't believe it. Let's see if, now it's time. Let's see if he can go for the loss. Of course, he didn't get the out. Zabrowski does absolutely nothing with the opportunity. What in the fuck, man? What in the fuck? How did this inning play out? Just, you can't fucking believe it. Strikeout, walk. Oh, fucking dude. Unbelievable. Game-losing free passes in the late innings. Yikes, man. Go take a long walk off a short fucking pier. All right, so Jake the Snake, I have him as a heavier favorite than this. I don't understand. Now, as far as the bullpens go, Astros are the better bullpen for sure. But I wonder if I could find that one F5. Sometimes those are listed. Those can be a little bit more difficult to find. F5 stuff's not really prevalent right now. Looks like FanDuel's got it, but you got to go up to minus 150. So at least that line is starting to make a little bit more sense. But look at what I'm putting myself through right now. Diamondbacks take the 3-1 lead. That game is over. Of fucking course it's over. Oh my God, Mark at a fucking loss, bro. Mark at a fucking loss. That fucking sucked, man. That fucking sucked. All right. It's such is life, you know what I mean? You can either bitch about it like I'm doing now, or suck it up and push forward, which I plan on doing. It doesn't not mutually exclusive or whatever. Yeah, I still like the Grom at minus 120. And to get back on track, that real line is more not FanDuel again. There it is. FanDuel with them minus 120. And I'm just gonna call bullshit, and roll with the GOAT with the good price and freaking moving on. Miles Michaelis on the bump is a plus 170 dog down in Atlanta to face Raylo and the Bravos minus 182. I'm out on this one. It's an over or nothing for me, but the totals already beat us there. They're already 5.5 and 9.5. It's like, thanks, but no thanks. You almost at this point just play the fucking Nats for the price alone. That Guardians loss really fucking chat my ass. We just can't find we can't find wins. I can get you a lead into the 8th, but it's not the team that's going to win lately. Man, that really fucking sucks. So, yeah, I don't have a play on this one, but you could see we're modeled up so close. There was a little less in there. Right? You don't need the underdog modeled ahead to pick it. This is telling you the distribution curves almost nearly overlap. This one should like legit, maybe it shouldn't be even, but it should probably be like minus 115 or 18 for the fucking Braves instead of minus 182. So you're nuts if you're paying that. You might be equally as nuts, but probably a little sharper if you're playing with the, the nesting house. Next up, Cole Drake and the Diamondbacks, fucking shitbag Diamondbacks, who are the ones blowing my 6-run lead. Fucking Diamondbacks. We took 2 6-run losses on these fucks. Now they decided to get the game win against motherfuckers. Now, I don't really know anything about Drake. That's what I wanted to look up because he's got my boy Parker Messick. And even at 147, shout out to Kyle, this feels a little bit short. I know I don't normally run to the window to bet a minus 147, but this one feels short. Algo is in full disagreement. Again, this is like the one I am like model your drug. I don't like it telling me anybody is better than Parker Messick. I mean, Drake got a promotion. He has a 5 ERA through 9 innings, which is I don't want to overreact to. But he got promoted with a 6.9 ERA through 66 in the third in AAA. Something is fucking busted here. So I'm going to re-rack this. This is obviously something is wrong here. I don't understand why. Yeah, there's some kind of error here. Again, things do go wrong from time to time. And this is stuff that I catch on the cleanup in the morning, but I'm like in hyperdrive right now. Cleveland's probably part of a blend bet also. I think I like them for a blend. And we'll look and see if maybe there's another one that kind of fits the bill. I'd imagine you're getting a nice price. The real money line is like in the minus 160s, man. I don't really like to pay that. But the run line is plus 140. So I think that's the play that we like. I think Messick, they'll come back and shove. I can't believe we lost this game. I can't believe it. Now it's 4-1 and Diamondbacks start to pile on. And it was like we were just winning in the 8th and we end up getting blown out. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, I think unless we find another pairing for Zagata down, I'm going to just take that plus 145 I really like. And moving on. Next up, Max Fried on the – what the hell? Max Fried on the bump for the Yankees. They're minus 120 against David Peterson and the fucking Cubs. Real line looks like minus 124 is the real line. I could list that if you like. But even still, yeah, give me the Yanks, man. I mean, Peterson's okay. I know the Yankees have struggled to hit lefties a little bit, but I think we're like jumping the shark. We're putting the cart before the horse, or some fucking saying, whichever one makes sense in this spot is the one that I mean to use. I think we're discounting the Yankees a little bit too much. No, I'm not like glazing them as world beaters. I mean, Max Fried is really good, and Peterson is okay. I guess he's been good the last couple starts. I know I had man, it's just funny. Maybe I'm wrong about this. I thought I had people up in my grill a couple days ago. I think we went up against him, and it was like, oh, man, he's got this many quality starts in a row, and maybe I didn't notice it. Let me see this last 30. Okay, fair enough. It's true, right? Now, it is where I fuck up. He had the 10 runs against St. Louis, and, that'll fuck you up. But in my defense, Peterson's had a 10, a 7, 2 6s, 2 5s, and 2 4s. He only has 13 starts, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In 8 of his 13 starts, he's given up at least 4 earned. I mean, I just don't think he should be priced at this point. Again, we know the Yankees versus lefty stuff is pretty horrendous, and the Cubs versus lefty stuff is pretty strong. I still think we're jumping the damn shark. I wonder what kind of tax we have to pay for the first 5. It's not really out there. It's minus 135. Where there's a minus 125 in the full game. Again, I just going to lean into the greater cap, right? The larger handicap and not be a fucking bitch about the stupid bullpens all the time. You can't control them. We don't throw the ball. We don't swing the bat. It is what it is, right? If you can't deal with this shit, then don't bet. You know what I mean? It's just so fucking aggravating. It is so aggravating. Right, because you just don't feel like it swings back the other way. It doesn't. That's not how it works. If you blow 10 bullpen games in a row, the universe doesn't owe you shit. You're not getting 10 in a row. You just happen to be on that part of the bell curve at the right time or not, and you get what you get, and you don't get upset. And I'm fucking upset, motherfucker. Word. So yeah, give me the Yanks to win this. I can't believe this is pissing me off. Next up, Tyler Mahle and the Gigantes plus 114 dog down in San Diego to face Walker Buehler, Texas Ranger, and the Friar Tucks. They're at the crib minus 137. Man, Mahle's been pitching pretty well, but the model is telling me to pump brakes. It's also saying a little bit of bad chalk on the Padres, which is probably the feeling that I get. And I think San Fran can win this one. But it feels like the book actually beat us to it, right? For all the lines, I'm like, hey, wait. I kind of like that line. This one feels like it's already sharpened, right? This one's already been sharpened. Like I would have expected this one to come in at, maybe we were getting a plus 130, and it's just not the case. So I'm going to put San Fran for the win because I think it's the play, but it's not going on my live ticket. I can pretty much guarantee that shit. What's up? Boston Red Sox and Peyton got to pay the troll toll. Plus 142 dogs down in Hollywood, always up to no good to face Yoshinobu Yamamoto off the day of rest. Holy crapola. There's 8.5s out there. They're a little fugazi. There are certainly 8s. There's a ton of fucking 8s out there. Why is this one you 8? I've got it at 7, which means I'm probably expecting a 7.5. So, again, if you... I don't know how to put this. I want to make sure I put this properly. But it's true, at least in my position. I guess in anybody's position. If you feel certain a game is going to close a half run off where it is, you should probably bet on it. Probably should bet on it. I have this whole thing about unders that I'm trying to get over, especially because full game unders are new to me. I usually bet first 5 unders. And while those were good for a while, you see how they blow up that one bad inning where the handicap was still correct. That happened like 4 or 5 times this year. We've had such rotten luck, man. We've had such rotten luck this year. Sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Can we get a damn break? Like, can we get the bullpen turnarounds? Can we get them? And I always felt like that was never my path in life. It was never, things were never going to be just laid up. Maybe I deserve it. Maybe it's fucked up shit that I did. And if that's the case, you don't see me arguing. You know what I mean? You're not going to hear me arguing. But I've always kind of felt the way. It's just that's not my path. Where it's like here. Oh wow, I can't believe I didn't have to work for this and everything fell into place. That's never been me. It's always been the opposite. It's I'm going to overwork and hope to fucking underdeliver. Opposed to not delivering at all. So I think Toll is really good. Yamamoto is really good. Scoring should be a premium, no matter how good the fucking offenses are. The Dodgers bullpen, I think, is in a little trouble today, but I think those guys, Diaz and Scott, are going to get rested today. They'll be back tomorrow. Same for Boston. Yeah, this one run should be a total premium. I'm like, I don't want to say sure, but this is actually a good spot, people, for me to experiment with the prediction markets. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, even if it's only a few bucks. I'm very curious to see. This is something I spoke about before the season, trying to use prediction markets, which are live, right? Trades, so you could take a position, have it improve, and you get out with a profit. Or the other way, it could go against you, and you could say, "Well, I don't even want to run this anymore. I'm going to pull it out." My hope was, I'd be able to take advantage of some totals like we're talking about. But what ends up happening is because of the fees on these prediction markets, it eats up, if not most, if not all of the value. The games that continue to be outliers, you don't want to snatch a few points of fucking CLV. You want to let the bitch roll. But now that I have a little bit of familiarity with Calcs, at least, because I've been making money betting on the fucking weather, don't ask me. I'm going to get a good look at least of like, what those look like. Because there might be times in the future where, I don't know. If you ever beat the half run, do you ever want to flip it? That's the problem. I actually had this work, and I was too afraid to flip it, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to get some, I think you can parlay also, but like, I wonder if I don't know how that would work. Like, I hate you doing shit when I don't understand it fully. I don't really understand how the parlay stuff works. If you try, I don't understand how it works. How they split the tickets, I don't understand. So yeah, give me the FGU 8 before it goes any lower. Next up, Robert Gasser and the Cheesemakers. They're minus 114 down in LA to face Jose Soriano and the Angels. Man, funny, this one too. My mind, I thought this would have been an 8. It's a 9, which means I think it's going to close at least 8.5. We're under again. Gasser's been good at points. Neither offense is really killer. Soriano is supremely frustrating whenever you need to get at him. He's having a good season for a reason, right? Reason for the season is all the weak ground balls. All he does, and he throws a ton of strikes, right? This guy's a strike throwing machine. Oh no, I have the wrong guy. I'm sorry. That was Gasser. I was thinking about somebody else. Someone ground ball. Oh, Palante is the other ground ball. That's a zone filler. So I'm sorry. Let me just back up. The carrying tool for Soriano is the ground balls. The hang up is the walk rate. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he's cleaned it up a little bit. Like I said, whenever he's going well, that's usually the reason why. And whenever things go terribly south, that's also the reason why. Let's see, Soriano. Yeah, he had 3 walks in the last one, but he got through 5, only gave up 1. Then hadn't had 3 walks in like 5 outings straight. You see that reflected in the extended innings. I just think Soriano's he's a pain in the ass. He's a tough customer. And I think Milwaukee might walk right into his hands, right? They're very passive and they hit a lot of ground balls. Like this is like a match made in fucking heaven. And both bullpens have been good. Angels bullpen in particular better than we thought. I'm not necessarily buying it like going forward where I'm super bullish, but they've been pitching well. And Soriano can get you 6 or 7 innings. He's got multiple 7-inning games on the log. I'm almost certain. Yeah, he's got a 9. He's got 3 7+s, and then another half dozen 6s. So 3, 6, no, I don't know. He's got 10 out of 22. He's going at least 6 innings. So I think you could rely on Soriano for some love. And I think any doubt that you have is baked into the cost here because we're at a freaking 9, which, again, just feels a little bit high. Feels a little high. Gasser has a couple money starts also. And if you're going to look great, why not do it against LA to make everyone look good? Last but not least, Framber Valdez and the Tigers. They're minus 130 favorites in Sacramento to face Jackson Perkins. The model does like Detroit to win. It's a little close for the price, and I worry about Framber's contact profile in this ballpark. To me, this is over or nothing again, but it's already beat us to it 5.5, 10.5. These are like thanks but no thanks situations. I'm so bitter about Cleveland, of course. I was just when you want to get excited, like, oh my God, the Orioles came through. We actually going to get a win that maybe we weren't supposed to get, right? For all the losses we lose and have to just understand. I get it, man. We all go through this shit. That's why I like to open it up sometimes and show people behind the curtain. Like, I'm not impervious. I'm good at not overreacting, because that shit is that's a sure way to failure is to let the negativity compound. If you've noticed, it's why I start the season in a combine, and it's why I took a break after the All-Star game. But, man, we have not been able to get anything going. We're total fucking losers right now. Like, fade my fat fucking ass, yo. We are total fucking losers right now. But I would tell you what, if you were really sharp, you would just wait, find out what I bet, and go against it in the 8th inning. You're going to get plus, who knows, 30-1, 25-1. We dropped a 90, we dropped 100-1 the other day. That Arizona loss was a literal. They were 1% to Cardinals were 1% to win that game, and it came all the way back and won. And we dropped another 6-run thing the other day, and it wasn't even the Tigers. Same thing. I've been getting very suspicious about this late inning shit. I don't know. Maybe bullpens are just worse than ever, overworked. I don't know. Or MLB's getting funky with the balls. Who the fuck knows? All right, that'll do it, everybody. Thanks for picking up what I'm putting down. Let's do a quick recap of the plays before we get out of here. I wonder if I could do the show this short every day. It might help come football season. So we got St. Louis and Toronto. I think they played to the under, but I do think Toronto wins with Gausman on the mound. Minnesota and Seattle. There's a bunch I like here because I think this one goes under the 8, Prelip and Gilbert. But I do think Seattle can still cover it. We can be under 8 and get a cover. There's a ton of those. 4-1, 4-2, 5-1, 5-2, 5-3. even on the 5-3 push, like that's a worst case. Worst case it's 25-21, but you know what I mean. I think Seattle works as a blend with Tampa, right? So you're pairing Seattle with Tampa and then playing each run line individually because they're over plus 130, 1/3 of a unit on each instead of just parlaying them for all the marbles. Where if you take one loss or out, or if you get one win and it's by 2, you can salvage, which is really nice. And then if they both hit and cover, which we had happen 2 nights in a row, you end up with like a nice progressive win. You know what I mean? You had like a really nice win, and it feels good to just have some workarounds for this crap. All right, we got Tyler Wells on the mound for the Orioles. Is he going to close out the fucking Phillies with 2 runs? If not, you're going to watch me have an absolute fucking fit on air. All right, so that's the blend. I've got the Mets winning, Thornton over Phillips at a nice price. We've got Pirates and Ashcraft winning over the Reds at a really nice price. Phillies and Sanchez beating Baltimore with a really nice price. Same for Texas and the Rangers. Minus 120 is a nice price. I like Cleveland for the kill shot. A little pricey for the money line, but I do think they could cover, though. I'm going to revisit this shit. I think it's effed up. That Max Fried is a little too cheap for me against the Cubs. Oh, I skipped the Rocky game. Oh, good. Good. Fuck them. 12 totals. So ridiculous. Don't waste time. Luis Vila and Ryan Feltner, don't bother. Just don't waste your time. I think Molly and the Giants can win. I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger even with the plus money. Bueller's looked okay. The Padres are hitting. Their bullpen is pitching. I think I'm out. Boston and LA, I really like the under 8, but anytime you're facing the Dodgers, you have to worry a little bit. My boy Toll is fucking nasty, kid, right? He's got some stank. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Then Milwaukee and LA, I think that's under the 9 also. Maybe with all the plays that I like, I probably won't get to this one. It's the one I feel like the weakest about. But we're modeled to a full run under. I think Gasser's got some goods. I think Soriano's got some goods, and I don't love either pen. I don't love either lineup, but I like both pens is what I mean. And then the last one, Detroit, I wouldn't bother. I think minus 130 on Framber is going to be very, very tempting. But I think his style of pitching with all the contact is going to be very frustrating and have a very clear pathway to, kind of being disgusted. Let's see. Cleveland is up with a chance to, there's no outs, but we need 3 runs against the Diamondbacks. That bullpen stinks. And of course, they're shoving. Of course. I didn't even notice one of the runs for Guardians were unearned. I just don't know how to avoid it. If I did, I would, but I can't, so I won't. All right, and that'll do it, everybody. That's the plays. That's the show. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Hit me up if you can. I'm like a little nervous about how this goes. If you've been following the show all season, I've had a couple episodes that I've tried to launch. I don't know what you say, launch remotely, launch a pre-recorded video. And I've had YouTube strike them down. Odd. So if that happens when I'm out, we're fucked. So I think I'm going to launch this early on. Now I'm just talking to myself because by the time you hear this, it already happened. I think I'm going to launch this early so I'll know if it took off at least before I get out of here. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Thanks for supporting the show. We're over 1,000 subs. Pretty fucking cool. Hit me up on Twitter. And if you could find it in your heart, support the Substack, all the data and everything that you see here, you get. And then imagine that for football. We got the nut hand. It's just the cheapest fucking data load I could possibly come up with. And next year's football stuff I'm working on when you don't see me, I've been building out the sheets for next year. They're epic. Fucking epic, yo. You have to be adjusting to the football meta, and I think the prevalence of 2 high shells kind of forces a new efficiency on offense underneath, which is why we like the reception ladder so much. And I think the natural counterpunch to that will be a lot of under center play action over the top to get the deep shot, right? The only way to get over the safety is to bring them in. So you have to either run successfully or operate underneath slot, tight end, tight end out, right? And I want to make sure I'm going to have a play action section. Again, the team level data is fucking second to none. And if you're doing any kind of handicapping or like prop betting and stuff, I don't know how you could do it without this. How I feel with the pitching sheets. How the fuck do you bet baseball without my pitching sheets? They're out of your mind. What are you doing? You're going to get this stuff and put it together every day instead of paying $2 a week. What the fuck? You're stubborn. That's wrong. You're doing it wrong. All right. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, Cleveland 1, 2, 3 ninth. Of course. When you work this hard, man, winning feels a lot.